What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, we're going to start with one of my favorite games, case or no case. In this episode, we're going to talk about should the Dolphins trade Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City? If you've been watching this little novella developing between these teams, this has been going on kind of since he got traded, right? First he got traded, Tyreek was like, yo, man, Tua's the most accurate quarterback ever. And Patrick said what he said. Then he won the Super Bowl, and they're like, yo, you won without Tyreek. And then all of a sudden, Tyreek was like, man, I wish I was there. I love Mahomes. Then Mahomes started saying, 10 will always have a home here. They've been doing this little tit for tat thing for the last few years now. Now, Kansas City has won 2 championships during that time. It's not like they can't win without Tyreek. I think it's just a matter of Patrick like playing with Tyreek. Who doesn't love throwing the ball 7 yards as far as you can and the ball just gracefully falling into the receiver's hands? Like, I'm sure Kelsey liked playing with him. It opened up the offense a lot. And on Tyreek's side, who doesn't love having a quarterback that you can just run as fast as you want? You got Andy Reid designing you plays. Like, it made a lot of sense for why they all work for each other. But Tyreek wanted to be a star and he wanted money. Enter Miami. That's how we got here, right? So it makes sense that if he was going to go somewhere, he wants to, one, go to a team that's a contender. Of course, you don't want to go to a team that's a loser. He wants to go to a contending team. He knows the offense. He knows the quarterback, knows the coach, knows the city. The city still likes him. Like, that all checks out why he would want to go back to Kansas City. Why Kansas City wants him? Well, Hollywood Brown, I don't know if they re-signed him or not, but he didn't. He got injured and then didn't have the impact they hoped for. I 100% believe Rashid Rice is going to be suspended at some point this year. Should have been last year. They kicked the can down the road. I think maybe for a three-peat, that's just, hey, whatever. They didn't win. I assume he's getting a 4 to 6 game suspension this year. Um, I don't think their receiving core is great. Juju is whatever. So Tyreek would work on the team. Like, he clearly would be wide receiver one as soon as he walked in the door. But the flip side of it is Kansas City is not giving up anything to get him back. They're not giving up a 1 and a 4 or a 2 and a 3, and like they're not giving up all that. Their money is tied up in Mahomes and in Kelsey and in the offensive line and a couple guys on defense. Chris Jones is getting paid a bunch of money. They don't have the money to just bring Tyree back unless he, I guess, forfeits his contract and signs some kind of new one. But Tyreek wants money. He still wants to get paid. And because they can't give the Dolphins back anything of real asset, like what they will give us maybe a third round pick. We can get more than a third round pick for somebody. So is it a case for Tyreek? 100%. Case for the Dolphins? Nah, not here for it. I don't listen. I would love to if Tyreek was traded. I would love for him to be happy where he goes. But we got to get some. Hey, I'm leaving here with some. You know what I'm saying? We got to get something back. We can't come back with a fourth round pick and try to sell our team on. I know you guys want to see Tyreek play this year. We got a fourth round pick in 2026 to make up. That is not for the fan base. We're not here for it. I don't see this as being a good case. So I will sell that. Speaking of Tyreek, if he is in fact traded, we need to replace his position, right? So maybe in prep for that, the Dolphins had Kyle Williams in, or he's coming in soon. He's a wide receiver from Washington State. He is 5'11", about a buck 85, fast, explosive, basically like a Jalen Waddle type clone. He's not as fast as Tyreek is, but he's built and plays the way Jalen Waddle played in college. He's really quick, really explosive, really twitchy. I guess he would fit the offense more readily than like a Tet or, one of these bigger body receivers. You could just plop him into the same position, move Waddle to the 1, move him into the 2, and he would play basically the same way. Like, he's probably a little bit slower than Jalen is, but not by a lot. He plays very fast. Like, when you see him on tape, oh, that guy's moving. Like, he's got some juice. Let's put it that way. I think he's going to end up falling to the second. I don't think he's quite wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, but Dolphins have a second round pick. So if we believe that we're losing Tyreek and we want to get younger at the position and want to replacing him with a fast, cheap, young receiver makes sense for the team, right? I think he's going to be a steal no matter where he goes. I'm hoping he gets out of the first round because he would get past Buffalo, who I know needs a receiver. Um, Kansas City, I don't know what they need. They do whatever they want at that pick. I think Baltimore's going defense. I think Washington could also use a receiver. So there's some really good teams at the end of the first round where receivers, there usually is like a run on a player or a position at some point in the draft where you'll see four running backs taking the 7 picks or three tight ends. Like you see it where it goes quickly, right? I imagine the first receiver will be in the top 11, 12 picks. There might be a few picks of defenders. And once that second receiver goes, everybody wants to get the third receiver. And then it's going to just be like, all right, three. I got to get the fourth best. And it just be it's a run. So I can see him sneaking into the first round, but I think more likely a second round pick. So if he's there, I think he's a really good player. Again, I'm only entertaining this in the event that we're going to trade Tyreek. If we're not trading him, no need for this. We can move on. He doesn't fit the team. But if we are going to trade him, then this might be a good option. And finally, let's talk about the cornerback position. So y'all know I love cornerbacks. We're going to talk about Darien Porter today. Darien Porter played at Iowa State. His biggest attribute is his size. He is a 6'3" cornerback, which is rare. I think maybe 1 or 2 in the league are 6'3" or above. Like it's a very rare thing to be that tall. Typically, the taller you get, your hips get a little bit less fluid. So if you have like a 6'4", 6'5" corner, you're kind of robotic and they just like move you to tight end. It's like, get inside. You can't backpedal properly. But that isn't the case with Darien. He is very fluid in his hips, super long arms for first position. I think almost 34 inches, which is long for arms and given his height, which is crazy. He also ran a 4.3 at the combine. So super tall, super long arms, very fast. You're checking boxes. Here's the issue. Not particularly good at tackling. Like doesn't seem super interested in it. Like he doesn't do a lot of it. It seems like a part of his game that they didn't ask him to do a lot. He doesn't have a particularly high tackling grade. So y'all know I like DBs that tackle, and he does not. So I don't love that part of it. I do believe you can teach tackling though. You can teach it. Tackling to me is like rebounding in basketball. It very much is an effort thing, right? Like there are people who are really good tacklers because they just put their nose in there. Their technique's not the best in the world. They might shoot the knees, grab the ankle, like they do some kind of barrel roll situation. Just like you see people getting rebounds, they just kind of get that position, get inside. They just hustle for the ball. They look at where the ball's going to hit the backboard. I think they're similar in the fact that you don't get a ton of rebounds outside of being just 7 foot whatever without big effort. And I think you don't become good at tackling, especially as a cornerback, without angles and effort. I think those two work on both sides, right? It's not just about I'm a big physical corner because if you take the bad angle, they're going to cut inside you or cut outside you. You do have to be in the right position. You got to break down, get your head across the body, wrap it up. We know what the vibe is. That's not something he's good at now. I do think he can get better at it. We got to coach it. But the advantage of having a corner that's 6'3" is that the league is getting bigger and bigger every year, right? Receivers are getting 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", catching passes one-handed, falling backwards. And cornerbacks are kind of still in that 6 foot, 6'1" range at most. There's some that are even under 6 feet, 5'10", 5'11". So receivers getting taller and taller, tight ends getting taller and taller, cornerbacks not so much, right? So there does need to be a correction at some point. I don't think receivers will start getting smaller again. I think it's such a big advantage to just having a big wingspan, throw the ball up anywhere, I'll go get it. You need corners at some point that can go up and get it. Right now, corners are basically playing receivers to jump. As they come down, they're punching at the ball. Don't you want someone that can go up and actually like compete for the ball? He's really good at the ball in the air, really good with his hands, super long arms, again, very tall. And what an advantage it would be to be next to Jalen, who is like the final boss version of you. He's like, hey, I'm struggling in tackling. Jalen don't struggle. He get right in there. Hey, what do you do on a sweep? You do this. Outside shoulder engage, keep that free arm. Inside shoulder engage, outside arm free. All that good stuff that you learn as a cornerback, you get to learn from the best. He was also a big corner, who also, again, is like the final version of what you can be. I think it'll be a slam dunk if he's there in the second round. I do think he will be a hot commodity because I do think most teams in the league need a cornerback. Very few teams can say both our corners are great. Very few. So we have like the 17th pick in the second round. You got to assume that basically any team between 1 and 16 could use a cornerback, especially one with the upside he has. So it may be a situation where we have to leverage some later round picks to move up 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 picks to get him. But I think it'd be well worth it. I think there's a lot of potential here, tons of upside, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works out for us. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate it, love, and support. Again, 1,000 subs is crazy. Y'all have been killing it. My goal is to keep bringing y'all the best content I can. Thank you for all you do. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.